This is Beverly Ashton Vickers, and today we are going to be weaving a woven cross. This is my interpretation of the woven cross pattern written by Lisa Saravallo, originally posted on Facebook. There's two different kinds of crosses here. One has a flower in the center of it, and the other one has been woven with a Godseye. We will be weaving the one with the Godseye during this video. The things you're going to be needing for this cross are 1/4 inch flat fiber, glue, some clips, scissors, and a tape measure, and shellac. We're going to be using a cross which can be purchased from Hobby Lobby. It's called the barbed wire cross, and it's available both in their stores and online at their website. The front of the cross is the barbed wire portions, which are painted, and the back has a hanger at the top of it. We will be weaving over the barbed wire portions. We're going to be using 1/4 inch flat fiber. As a reminder, this is paper, so do not soak it. We're going to be weaving the long portion of the cross first, and then one of its cross members at the top. You will need approximately 7 yards of flat fiber to weave up and then across. Then when we do the other part, you will need approximately 4 yards. To get started, we're going to take the flat fiber, we're going to go down on the right, up on the left, under the cross member, and then fold it over to the back and flip the cross over. This is where we're going to anchor the starting weaver. I'm going to add some glue, not much, just takes a little bit. Place it across the weaver that's there and attach it with a couple of alligator clips. These will take just a few minutes to dry, so we'll let them dry before we get started. All right, now that those are dry, we can go ahead and remove the clips and we can begin weaving. Make sure the weaver is all the way at the bottom, and then we're going to start weaving around the cross. We're going to go around the end, over the center, and to the other side in a normal basket weaving fashion, over, under, over, under. Get it to where it lays good. Make sure that you're packing all the way up because the cross is tapered and you won't be able to pack at a later date. Keep weaving back and forth, over, under process, making sure that you're not pulling it too tight. This cross is very malleable and it will distort if you weave it too tight. So keep weaving back and forth. I've used a short piece of fiber just for demonstration purposes. I recommend that you have at least 7 yards, which will take you nonstop all the way up the center and across. So keep weaving. Now, if you have cut your weaver too short or you're using scraps, there is a way that we can add. I'm going to show you now how you can add a piece in the middle of your weaving. Turning the cross over, get another piece of 1/4 inch, and we're going to glue it to the existing weaver. We're going to lay it on top of the existing weaver. Put a couple clips on them to let it dry. And you'll always want to make your additions to the back of the cross. That will hide them. The glue is dry. We're going to remove the clips. I'm going to lift up and cut this little excess that we don't need. And then begin weaving again. And we just continue on, just like we were before. And that's how you add a new weaver if necessary. Now that we have 27 rows, we're going to take and make a right turn and weave across the first arm. All I'm going to do is just wrap the weaver around that arm in the usual weaving form, going over the bottom and coming back across, just like we've been doing. Keep weaving. You're going to do that for 10 rows, 10 to 11 rows. You want to weave both sides of the cross with the same number of rows. Now that we're at the end, we've got 9 rows. I'm going to do a 10th one, bring it up, wrap it around, turn the cross over, and all I'm going to do is just glue it to the back side. Clip it until it dries. Clip off the excess. You've completed the long portion and one of the arms. Now we can go ahead and weave the other part of the cross. We're going to start the other side of the cross just like we started the beginning. I'm going to take a piece that's about 4 yards long, start it down to the right, under the center member, fold it over, turn the cross over, and glue it in place. Give it a minute or two to dry, and then we can get started. Once it's dry, we remove the clips and begin weaving just like we have been. It's really easy for your weaver to get twisted, so be careful when you're pulling it through so that you don't leave a twist in it while you're weaving. If you make a minor error in your weaving, don't lose sleep over it. Just keep on weaving. We're going to be putting approximately 10 rows on here to match the other side, but unfortunately they're not always exactly the same. So weave until it looks correct. All right, now that we've got the appropriate number of rows, we're going to do just like we did on the other side. We're going to weave it back to that vertical in the same manner that we've been doing. Get it up under that fold, and we're going to make a right turn and continue weaving the rest of the cross. You want to put approximately the same number of rows, but these crosses are not manufactured to exact specifications. For the sake of showing you how to weave these, I've been weaving on the table, but I want to show you how I weave these crosses at home. I attach the cross to the edge of my work table with clamps. It gives me 2 hands to be able to work with the weaving and makes it go much faster. I can usually get a completed cross done within an hour. I remove any clips that I have on the cross first. I move the cross down to the edge of my table and take large clamps and gently attach it to the edge of the work table, which leaves my hands free for weaving. So using both hands, I'm able to weave this much quicker. If you make a mistake, just take it out and reweave it. Once you've gotten to the end where it's filled in the top of that cross, you're now ready to finish it off. Remove the clamps, turn the cross over. We will finish this end as we have all the others. We fold it over, clip the excess, add the glue, affix it to the cross, and put clips on it to hold it down. And you've now completed a cross without the Godseye. At this point, you can go ahead and just take the cross, spray it with shellac, and add a seasonal flower to the center of it if you wish. In this video, we are going to go ahead and make the Godseye. that's our next step. I have created a graphic to identify the direction in which you weave to create the Godseye. At the bottom, I have written out the steps, F being for the front and B being for behind. And it shows you which directions you'll be taking your weaver. Above, I'm showing the four corners with lines and arrows depicting the direction the weaver must run. So now we can go ahead and get started. As you see, if I lay the cross down with the woven, I can't see the information underneath. So I'm going to show you how we start weaving this with an empty cross. The graphic shows the four corners of the intersection of the cross. Corner 1, 2, 3, and 4. The way we're going to be weaving this is we're going to weave from first corner to the second, to the third, to the fourth, following the lines that are underneath. When you're weaving the Godseye, if you are looking at the front of the cross, it will always go across in front. If it's on the back, it will always go parallel to the cross, and it will not cross over. That'll help give you some ideas to the direction we're going. Also, as we weave, we are actually stepping out and layering at the shoulders of the cross. We don't want to stack the weavers, we want to layer them as they go around. To do the Godseye, you're going to need approximately 7 yards of the 1/4 inch flat fiber. We're going to start at 1, go to 2, 3, 4, and etc. I'm going to start by sliding it behind from 1 to 3. That'll be glued into place when we do the final cross. We're going to go across from 1 to 2, following the red line with the arrows. Go from 2 behind to 3, following the dotted line. Go from 3 to 4, following the magenta solid line. And behind, using the magenta dotted line, we're going to go to number 2. We're going to follow the green line down to corner number 1. See how we're beginning to work up the shoulders. Go back up to corner number 4, following the green line. And then the blue line in front to corner number 3. And we're back to corner number 1 where we started. Everything is laying beside of each other. I'm going to start again, go from corner 1 over to corner 2, layering it as we go. Behind to 3, in front to 4, behind to 2, again making sure you're not twisting your weaver as you go, in front to 1, behind to 4, and in front to 3, and you come back to corner number 1. Just kind of move them around. You'll be able to readjust these as you keep weaving. Right, let's go ahead and look and see how we do this on the cross itself. You can still see the lines, the solid lines underneath. On the back, we're going to glue the weaver in place, clipping it like we have and letting it dry. Now that it's dry, we're going to go ahead and remove the clips and we'll start our weaving. Just like we did on the open wire cross, we're going to start at 1, go to 2, 3, over to 4. Then we're going to go back to 2, in front to 1, behind to 4, in front to 3, and then back to 1. Front to 2, back to 3, front to 4, behind to 2, front to 1, behind to 4, front to 3. And you're now back to 1. Okay. We're now ready to go again. You go from 1 to 2, behind to 3, in front to 4, behind to 2, in front to 1, behind to 4, in front to 3, and back to 1. Again, we're layering as we go along. So let's do another row. Front to 2, behind to 3, front to 4, behind to 2, front to 1, behind to 4, in front to 3, and behind your back to 1. Kind of adjust them around to make sure they're nice and layered. At this point, I adjust them the best I can, and I put clips on all 4 corners. It takes about 3 or 4 rows to begin to really see the layering. These clips are going to help you as you weave to make sure you're keeping them layered. We're ready to start up again. So I'm going to go across to 2, remove the 2 clips, and put it back in place. Bring it back around to 3. Again, remove the clip, put it in place, and replace the clip. I prefer to work on my lap, so I have pulled the cross down to the edge of my table and rested it on my lap so I can continue weaving. Just like you were weaving before and we show on the graphic, here I am coming around. This is corner number 1. I'm going in front to corner number 2, clipping and unclipping. Behind to corner number 3. In front to corner number 4. Behind to corner number 2. We're layering out across the shoulder of the cross. Once you've come out as far as you want to go and you are at corner number 1, we're now ready to end the weaver by turning over the cross, cutting it, gluing it, and clip it in place. Now you can remove the clips and readjust your Godseye in order to square it up. And then put the clips back in place. And you can see the stair step layering. Keep the clips in place for about a day, and then it will be ready to shellac. Shellacking your cross will give it a finished look and will help hold your weavers in place. This is what a shellacked cross looks like. If you would like a copy of the original pattern with my adaptations included, as well as the source for flat fiber and the graphic that I created that I used, and the Godseye graphic, send me an email and I'll send them to you and you can print them out.